I'd spent 3 years building the perfect transcript. Every all-nighter, every over-highlighted textbook. Every weekend I turned down a party to finish a paper. It was all leading to this, the Dean's List Research Fellowship. Only 5 students would be chosen, and I was going to be one of them. Until I wasn't. I still remember the day the email came in. Subject line: Fellowship finalists, congratulations. My heart pounded as I clicked, but my name wasn't there, not even on the alternate list. At first, I told myself it was a mistake. Maybe there was a glitch. Maybe I submitted the wrong version. Maybe. But then Lena walked in. She was glowing. Her curly hair was pinned up in that "I just did this in 2 minutes" kind of way, and she had that fake modest smile she used when she wanted people to ask. And she didn't make me wait long. "I got in," she said, holding up her phone like a trophy. "The fellowship. I mean, can you believe it?" I blinked. "Wait, what?" She tilted her head. "You didn't apply, right? You said you weren't sure." I I did apply," I said slowly. "I submitted everything 2 days early." Her smile faltered for half a second. Just long enough. Then she laughed too loudly. "Oh my God. Then maybe it's just a glitch or something. You should check with the admin office." But something was off. I'd seen her struggling for weeks. She didn't even finish her proposal until 2 nights before the deadline, and even then, she begged me to proofread it. I didn't just proofread it, I wrote it. I'd sent her parts of mine as inspiration because I thought we were helping each other. I even emailed her the structure I was using, the citations, the hook. And now she had the award. The worst part? Her name was listed first. 2 days later, I went to Dr. Carr's office. He was the advisor overseeing the final selection, a tall, lean man with expensive shoes and a voice that always felt like it was trying to convince you of something. "Calla," he said, like we were old friends, "I heard you came by." "I just wanted to confirm that my application was received," I said, voice steady. "I submitted everything on time and I never got any confirmation." He folded his hands and smiled in that patronizing way administrators do when they're about to lie to you. "I'm afraid I can't disclose details about the process," he said. "But I assure you everything was reviewed fairly." I nodded. "Of course, I understand." But I didn't believe him. And as I stood up to leave, I noticed something on the edge of his desk. A printed copy of Lena's proposal. My opening line, word for word. I didn't say anything. I just smiled. Because if there's one thing I've learned from psych seminars, it's this. Revenge isn't loud, it's quiet, strategic, and always comes after the applause. The hardest part of revenge is pretending you're fine. So that's what I did. For the next week, I smiled at Lena in the library, sat next to her in seminars, and even liked the Instagram post she made about the fellowship. Her caption, "Hard work pays off, grateful beyond words." And just like that, she became a campus darling. Dr. Carr reposted it on his department page. The dean retweeted it. Even the Campus Tribune ran a short piece on her groundbreaking proposal about mental health and social media, my exact research topic. I didn't cry. I took notes. She was playing her part well. Wide-eyed, humble bragging, acting like she had no idea how she ended up at the top. But the cracks were there, if you knew where to look. For starters, she couldn't actually explain her proposal. I watched her flounder during a seminar Q&A when a professor asked about longitudinal data. She deflected with buzzwords and half smiles. And Dr. Carre. He watched her stumble, then quickly cut in to clarify on her behalf. They weren't just colleagues, they were partners. I don't know how long they'd been working together behind the scenes, but I could guess the deal. He got a shiny new protege to push, and she got a shortcut to the spotlight. They underestimated me. I started with access. As Lena's friend, I was still part of her world. She hadn't blocked me out because she didn't think she had to. She thought I was defeated, maybe even too embarrassed to fight back. So I let her keep thinking that. In the meantime, I created a fake Reddit account at the Fellowship Files. Then I uploaded my original research abstract, time-stamped, with file metadata, and a short, anonymous post titled, "What Happens When Your Best Friend Steals Your Research and a Professor Helps Her?" It went viral overnight. Students commented. Alumni shared it. Someone even linked to the university's plagiarism policy. I didn't name names. I didn't have to. By morning, the admin office was flooded with calls. Lena texted me, "Are you seeing this post? Someone's trying to ruin the fellowship." WTFI waited 5 minutes, then replied, "People are crazy. You okay?" She responded with a crying emoji and a heart. Like we were still best friends. But behind the screen, I was already in the campus archives, requesting the timestamp logs from the submission portal. I had a meeting with IT the next morning, and if all went well, I'd have the final proof in my hands. Not just that she stole it, but when she uploaded it, and who gave her access. The IT department didn't know they were helping me plot revenge. They thought I was just a concerned student seeking technical clarity. "Hi, I'm just trying to confirm whether my submission was successfully uploaded," I said, keeping my voice soft and confused. "I never got a confirmation, and now there's all this stuff going on with the fellowship." The technician, a graduate student named Ray, adjusted his glasses and nodded sympathetically. "Yeah, we've been getting a lot of noise about that Reddit post." He turned to his screen. "Okay, let's pull up the logs." I watched over his shoulder as he navigated through the internal system. There it was. My file, Calla Keller. Fellowship proposal, final.pdf, timestamped 11:04 p.m., March 21st, 2 days before the deadline. Then he frowned. "Huh, what?" "There's another upload from the same IP, different account, same evening, 11:52 p.m. He clicked. Lena Morales, final proposal.pdf. The file name didn't surprise me. But the IP address? It was Dr. Carr's office. That was it. That was my proof. She hadn't just copied me. She used his computer to do it. Probably while he stood behind her, watching, encouraging her, making her believe it would be fine. No one would notice. But I noticed. And now I had a digital trail leading straight back to both of them. Ray printed the log for me, just in case, stapled it neatly, and handed it over like a final puzzle piece. I walked out of the IT office, calm, cold, focused, the silence before the storm. Back at my apartment, I opened my laptop and logged into at the fellowship files. The thread had exploded, over 2,000 upvotes and dozens of comments speculating who the fellowship thief could be. Theories ranged from bitter exes to secret department rivalries. I posted again, this time with an image. Submission log, same IP, same day, same project, different names. The comment section lit up. "Yo, that's sketch AF. From the prof's office? This is bigger than just plagiarism. They both need to be investigated." I didn't have to scream. I just let the internet whisper in the right ears. 3 hours later, I received an email from the department chair. Subject: Urgent, meeting request. Dear Calla, we'd like to speak with you regarding a matter involving the fellowship submissions. Please come to room 203 tomorrow at 10 a.m. I smiled, not because I was nervous, but because Lena and Dr. Carr would be there too. And they had no idea the trap they'd walked into. Room 203 was usually reserved for dissertation defenses and departmental celebrations. Today, it felt like a courtroom. When I walked in, Lena was already seated at the long oak table, her legs crossed tightly, hands clenching a hydro flask like it was a stress ball. Dr. Carr stood by the window, checking his phone, trying to project control. But his jaw was set a little too tight. Across from them sat Dr. Lindholm, the head of the department. She gestured for me to sit. Her expression was unreadable. "Thank you for coming, Calla," she said. I nodded politely. Of course. No one offered me water. No one smiled. Good. "We've received troubling allegations," Lindholm began, folding her hands, "regarding the integrity of this year's fellowship applications." She looked at Dr. Carr, then at Lena. "I'd like to hear from everyone involved." Dr. Carr went first. His voice was calm, rehearsed. "There's been a lot of noise online," he said, "but I'd caution against taking anonymous internet claims as fact. Academic procedures must be upheld." Lena jumped in quickly, as if they'd practiced the script. I had no idea anyone else had a similar topic. If there's overlap, it was purely coincidental. I mean, social media and mental health is a huge field. She looked at me then, eyes wide, as if begging me to keep playing the quiet friend. I didn't blink. Dr. Lindholm turned to me. "Calla?" I took a breath and placed the printout from IT gently on the table. "This is the upload log from the university's system," I said. "It shows my proposal submitted on March 21st at 11:04 p.m. Then a second file, Lena's, uploaded from Dr. Carr's office 48 minutes later." Dr. Carr shifted. "Furthermore," I continued, "the structure, citations, even the phrasing in Lena's opening paragraph matched my draft, which I emailed to her as a peer review days earlier." I pulled out the email too, the one with my annotated proposal attached. Time-stamped, verified. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I simply presented facts. Silence. Lena's face drained of color. Dr. Carr looked at her like she was the liability now. Dr. Lindholm leaned back in her chair, scanning the papers like they were court evidence. "I'll need to verify this," she said. "Please do," I replied. I could feel Lena shrinking in her seat. "This could be grounds for disciplinary review," Lindholm added coldly. Still, I wasn't done. "One more thing," I said, pulling out my phone. I tapped open the Reddit post. The thousands of shares. The messages I'd received privately. Other students sharing similar stories of favoritism, even misconduct involving Carr. Dr. Lindholm's brow furrowed. "This department doesn't tolerate impropriety," she said, her voice suddenly firm. "Thank you, Calla. We'll be in touch." I stood and didn't look back. But I heard Lena whisper behind me, "You said it was safe." And Dr. Carr's quiet, furious reply, "Shut up, Lena." 2 weeks later, a quiet notice appeared on the department bulletin board. "The recipient of the 2025 fellowship has been revised. Congratulations to Calla Vane." No fanfare, no announcement email, just that printed A4 paper pinned in the hallway. But for me, it was louder than any applause. And for Lena, it was a scarlet letter. Word had spread. Lena disappeared from campus for days. When she came back, she avoided the psych building entirely. I heard whispers. She'd been pulled from the mentorship program, dropped from a panel she was supposed to present on, and was now on academic probation. I wasn't proud of her downfall. But I wasn't sorry either. She made a choice, and choices have consequences. Dr. Carre. He was reassigned, no longer listed as a faculty mentor. His name quietly vanished from the course catalog the next semester. I later heard he'd taken a sabbatical, which was admin speak for, "Get out before we dig deeper." Rumors said he had done this before, with other students, with other stolen ideas. But no one had proof, until now. People started approaching me in the library. Other students, quiet, careful. I read the post. They whispered. "That was you, right?" I never confirmed it. just smiled and went back to my book. But something had shifted. I wasn't just the girl who almost lost her fellowship. I was the girl who fought back and won. Then, one afternoon, I found a handwritten note tucked inside my locker. Calla. I don't know if you'll ever forgive me. I thought I deserved that chance. I wanted so badly to be seen, but now I know what that cost. I'm sorry. L. I folded it. Unreadable. No reply. There are some bridges you don't rebuild. In my final semester, I gave a presentation on power dynamics in academic institutions. My opening line? Sometimes, revenge isn't about destruction. It's about correction. The room was silent, and I smiled. Graduation came with little ceremony, the usual speeches, the caps thrown in the air, the blurry smiles in photographs no one would print. But for me, the moment came before my name was ever called. It came when I stepped onto the stage, locked eyes with Dr. Lindholm, and saw her nod. Not out of formality, but out of recognition. She knew what I had done. She had reviewed every file, every email, every log, and still, I stood here. I wasn't just graduating. I had survived them. Later, as I packed my apartment into boxes, I found Lena's note again. Folded, fragile, still unsigned, still filled with the same misplaced longing. She had wanted to be someone. So had I. The difference was, I never needed to steal it. One evening in June, I got a message request on Reddit. Username: Academic Ghost 21. You don't know me, but thank you. What you did gave a lot of us the courage to speak up. Underneath it, a link to a new thread, another story, another name, another stolen idea. Not mine this time, but someone else's. It was spreading. And suddenly, I wasn't just a girl who took down her traitorous friend and a corrupt professor. I was a spark. A week before I left the city, I passed Lena on the street. She didn't see me. She looked different, tired, thinner, hair tied back like she was trying to blend into the sidewalk. For a second, I almost pitied her. But then I remembered. She'd held the knife first. I kept walking. Sometimes revenge isn't loud. Sometimes it doesn't scream. Sometimes it's the echo that stays, long after they've forgotten your name, but not what you did.